The other thing that I do is, well, I talk to myself, but I'm already talking to myself. I have internal dialogue, right? And that's my racing thoughts. My racing thoughts. And I have this internal dialogue, and I have these whole conversations with myself, and I'm making things true that are not really true. It's not reality. So I change. I'm getting much better at changing my dialogue.
Or you open up and you speak to me about it, and you tell me these thoughts, and I'm like, Teryn, no, that's not real.
Yeah. And and I tell you a small percentage of my thoughts, because I think
You don't want to bombard me.
I don't want to bombard you, and I don't want to burden you. I feel I could become a burden to you.
Oh no.
Well, but you do feel like that because it is constant. And and you and I, we're very open, we're very transparent. And sometimes I think sometimes I protect you, I think, and myself still. Sometimes I think maybe you don't even realize the extent of, because I don't even know how I would even show you the extent or explain the extent. I don't even think I have to. I just think you have this sense of, when it's gotten to a place where it's not good.
Right.
It's not good. You recognize that.
Yes.
But a lot of times I can hide it. I can, from you. And I still do that sometimes, I do. But if you can change your internal dialogue, so when you have a negative thought coming in, you verbally you talk out loud, and you say, stop, I squash this negative thought. You do not belong here. You are not allowed here. You mean nothing. You have no power over me. My positive thoughts are 1,000,000 times more powerful than my negative thoughts. I will say that out loud. I don't keep that dialogue in my head. The negative dialogue stays in my head, but my positive dialogue, I do I put my voice behind that, and I say it out loud.
So I do that too.
Yeah, I squash this negative thought. You are not allowed here. You are not invited. You are powerless over me. My positive thoughts are 1,000,000 times more powerful than my negative thoughts. And then I think something that we have to realize when we suffer from this is that we need to realize that we need to remind ourselves that the reality of the situation or the impact of the situation is not realistic as what our mind is making it out to be, right? We blow it out of proportion.
Yes.
We make it huge. And we think the impact is going to be massive and devastating. And in reality, it's not. So we have to remind ourselves of that these thoughts can be manipulative and they can trick us. So the situation is way out of proportion to what our thoughts are trying to convince us that it is. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes sense.
Yeah. Does that happen to you?
Oh, yeah, I have intrusive thoughts all the time. But not as manic as you. Sometimes when I can't sleep,
Yeah.
that's when it's really bad.
When you can't sleep?
Yeah. And I recite the same things. Those thoughts aren't powerful. My positive thoughts are powerful.
Yeah. Does it work for you?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah. So, sometimes I have days where these tools, they're helpful, but they're not working like they do on other days. Sometimes maybe I give up.
Yeah.
Maybe I get weak and I get exhausted and I just give up. Not perfect.
Right.
And sometimes I get overwhelmed. And those are the days I just curl up on the couch, and zone out.
Watch Netflix.
Watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to watch those
Murder
dark
shows.
Murder show. I like to watch the dark documentaries.
Why do you have, then I look at what's recorded, and there's murder show after murder show after murder show.
You know, and we have a casita, and like Mary Richardson comes out and stays in it, my dad and other people, and the Netflix is connected. Right?
Yes.
The contour, the recorded shows are connected. So anybody, I think I've thought about this a few times, like anybody that, like your mom's coming in a couple
Yes.
weeks. Anybody that gets on the TV in the casita and pulls up and sees all the recorded shows, they're going to think, what?
She might be worried for me.
She might be worried for you. It's like, what the hell? My daughter-in-law is like watching all this. Oh yeah, I watched like Murderous Siblings and American Monster and Snapped and, and maybe I shouldn't be watching those. I've been trying not to record as many, but I've been watching those my whole life, ever since I was a little kid. I like horror shows. I like all that stuff, but maybe that's why I like it, because it's dark, and I don't consider myself a dark person. I do consider myself a person full of light and hope and love and kindness and grace. And, my heart is good, but sometimes my mind.
I don't know. For some reason, I think it's
This is a little
soothing
cloudy.
to you. I think it's soothing.
I don't know. It is a little soothing too. Maybe I sit there and I go, well, at least I'm not that fucking bad. Boy, shit could be worse for me.
God.
Maybe that's what I do, Olivia. I don't know. Maybe, I've never really sat and thought about, why am I attracted to those dark shows? I never really analyzed it and thought about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
maybe
and I
that's
don't
why.
watch that many of them with you. Especially if they're really gruesome, I can't bear it. And I'll start dreaming about that.
I know. And then I get upset sometimes when you walk in. You're like, I'm not watching that. And I'm like, I know. I have to change it, But I haven't been watching as many.
Yeah, no, I noticed that.
Because I could sit and watch them like 10. I could binge on them for like 10 hours, But I feel
10 hours.
Yeah, but I'm like maybe super street smart. I feel like I know stuff now. It's like no one's getting one over me. I know all the little tricks.
Or you could get away with murder.
Or I could probably get away with murder. Yeah, I tell you that all the time. I could get away with murder. I see all the mistakes they make that get them caught. I know. I've had people. I've told people before. Here I am on a podcast telling the whole goddamn world that I like these fucking shows. But I have told people before in classes and whatnot, and a lot of people like them. Come to find out,
no, I think a lot of people. They're super popular.
they're very, very popular. They're all over Oxygen, and IDTV and all over the place. But so at least I'm not the only one. I'm not alone.